Hey guys, Sure Shot Midget here. So I got a pretty cool airsoft gun to do a video on. So this one I've already shot. I shot it earlier today. Just had to redo part of the video because for some reason my phone, I cannot download a video that is over 15 minutes from my phone to the computer. It just does not work. In fact, it doesn't even show up in my iPhone files when I go in there. So it's stupid. Don't ask me. I do not know much about computers or technology crap. So video's got to be under 15 minutes. So I typically have to split it up into literally two clips, two 10-minute videos. And then I just put them in my editing software and then do my thing. So this is a TWS M4 by King Arms. So I did do an airsoft version of one of these not long ago. In fact, it's sitting in a box across the room, and that is actually for sale. So if you're looking, it's going to be about $600. It is a pre-upgraded. I upgraded it. You know, it's like an SHS motor, Leviathan MOSFET. What else? You know, Metarack piston, new spring, steel bushings, 13-to-1 gears by SHS, all professionally installed by me, and it's for sale because it was supposed to go to Germany, but Germany changed their law. Because I've done work on this guy's gun before, or I built him an HPA gun 2 years ago. Well, apparently Germany changed their law where you can't send a gun to Germany, airsoft even. It has to go through a dealer. Like in the United States, firearms have to go to an FFL. Basically, they have the same thing for replicas. It's absurd. It's authoritarian and ridiculous. So that gun's been sitting here for about 4 months now, and I'm going to try to sell it basically because I think it would cost $400 if that thing, or 300 or something like that, to be shipped to a authorized airsoft dealer. So stupid cost, just absolutely moronic. So that gun will be for sale if you're interested. If you have $600 something for a pre-upgraded, basically this gun, pre-upgraded AEG version of this, around $600, you can message me on Instagram. Otherwise, I'm probably going to toss it on Hop Up because unfortunately, since 2014, you can't sell gun airsoft on Facebook. There used to be Facebook groups. Those OGs will understand. I used to be able to sell airsoft stuff on Facebook. Not anymore because, the big tech platforms have cracked down on anything that looks scary. Ooh. Start from the front. It's got a amplifier on here, and I would definitely recommend pulling that off. I'm gonna just ship it with it on there, but basically you would cut it or use pliers or something to crack it because the front of it's probably glued on there, but just by looking at it he'll be able to tell. Just literally just break it, just crack it, and because there's a pin on the bottom, but you should be able to just leave the pin in there and just break it off. Do yourself a favor, because if you're playing with this outdoors, you're gonna be spotted, with the orange tip. So it's pretty cool. An amplifier on the front. This is an M-LOK rail, left, right, and bottom side, and it also has these threads, which is interesting. So it has a second mounting platform, threaded, but it does look like M-LOK too, so maybe you can do both. I have heard some M-LOK rails don't work very well because of it's shallow or too thick on the inside. Don't know if that's the case for this. It doesn't come with any rail sections in the box whatsoever. Just a monolithic rail on the top. Oh, also, if I didn't say, the rail is aluminum. It's a really good quality. Sights on here are Troy replicas, just metal basic sights. Receiver here is skeletonized. Pretty freaking cool. It's a very nice receiver. As you can see, it's got a gold gearbox. It does have a functioning bolt lock and a standard magazine catch. Bolt lock. It does have a functioning bolt lock, but it actually literally just broke on me. It literally just broke. This plastic piece is attached to the charging handle, and it just broke, and that's what grabs the bolt carrier. And since that broke off, this was allowed to go back super far, and then it stretched the spring. So, catastrophic failure on that. Well, I'm going to try to fix this for this guy. I probably have spare parts to fix it. That's stupid, though. I didn't even pull it back that hard, but whatever. I can't believe that happened live on video, so I'll fix that. But onto the hop up. It does have a pre-R hopped barrel, and it's a steel barrel. I don't remember what brand. He did buy it, you know, pre-R hopped. There's also a max hop up unit and a modify flat hop bucking. It's the gray one, so it's the soft with a flat hop nub. Really good setup here. It is very touchy on the hop up, so I have it, you know, good to go with 0.3s, but he may find it's very touchy, so yeah, just be careful with that. I don't think you'll want to use any heavier or any lighter BBs. I would just use 3s. It has a Tango Down style pistol grip, standard selector switch, 3 modes, and then a stubby stock I put on here. This was not on there. It is a Matrix stubby stock, and of course it's got the FCU in here, and he just ordered a battery. He didn't have one. I just used mine to tune it, so he's got a battery on the way. All set up. 30 RPS is what you'll see in the shooting portion. It did max out at that rate of fire. No big deal. Most of the fields actually in California are pretty much semi-auto only, which is really unfortunate. Most fields in general are semi-auto only, which just sucks. I mean, some of the games should be semi-auto only, but you should allow some full auto games. I don't know. It's a lot more fun when you're able to switch modes. I mean, when you're stuck on semi all day at an open play, it's ridiculous. When did open plays become milsims? Like, seriously. Oh, I got hit with 10 BBs from 250 feet. Like, I'm going to cry about it. And, of course, there are some, you know, a-holes that do shoot people point blank on 40 RPS. Those people need banned, but you're basically ruining it for everybody. It's like gun control. Like, bad people do things, and then you're just going to ban a certain type of gun or certain magazine sizes because a bad person did a bad thing. Like, it makes no sense. The engine here is gold, as you can see. It's amped airsoft. They sell a bunch of different colors, like the EMG one's blue. The normal one's red. I know Amped also has a green one, and I want to say there's a purple one, which might be Amped as well. This literally says Amped Airsoft on it, but it's just an F2 with the standard nozzle. It does come with the low flow poppet stock, which is cool. I also have the max trigger in here, which I did have to modify. Basically, the trigger itself wouldn't sit low enough in the gearbox shell, like low enough this way. So I had to take a Dremel and modify like the portion on the trigger. It's like a block basically, so it'll sit down into the receiver or the gearbox a certain distance. Well, it wasn't sitting down far enough because you could shut the gearbox shell, pull the trigger, and it wasn't even hitting the switch. So it needed to sink lower. So I just, you know, grounded that out so it sat lower. And when I did that, it had more play, like up and down. You could literally slide it up and down so it would come off the switch. So I put 2 shims on the top of the trigger to keep it pushed down, and haven't had a problem since, and it works just fine. It has adjustable screws, so I adjusted them and then Loctited them. So it is good to go for him. And then also the IGL in the engine itself, which is always a cool upgrade. And that's pretty much it. There's really nothing else to say about this. Again, I already shot it. It shoots great, very efficient, just like all F2s. Unfortunately, they do max out at, you know, 30 RPS. In my experience, V12s, Fusion engines are much better, you know, engines for over 35 RPS. The max I've been able to get out of an F2 is 35. So right now I have the regulator at 85 PSI. That's where he's going to use it for woodland. So I figured I'd put it at that because we're shooting outdoor here. I'm going to be trying a Troy mid-cap. I have not used one of these in a long time. Troy, they hold like 180 rounds. This thing holds a lot. And then a VFC metal mid-cap. I think there's about 120. And then a Crytek high cap. Now, it was acting funny with the high cap a little bit ago. It wasn't feeding, but it was feeding just fine with the mid caps. We'll see how it goes here. I did crank up the nozzle timing a little bit so it has more time to feed. So we'll see if the high cap works now. But I am going to start off with the high cap first. As you can hear, it's not too loud. I mean, the F2 in general is kind of a quiet engine. See, there's still a couple skips, so I'm just going to switch off to the mid caps because that high cap does not work very well. We're using the Troy mag, which again holds like 180 rounds. It's really cold out here, so I'm not getting it as fast as I normally do. try full auto. Skipping a couple at the end of this mag. All right, we're empty. So at the end of that mag, it skipped a little bit. I found that the VFC mag here worked the best. I have not had any skipping, and this is probably more comparable to the PTS because the PTS magazines are pretty top tier. I also have a like 6-year-old GMP mid cap. Let's try this. I've always been impressed with the F2s. They're not the best engines for high RPS. I typically say 35 and under for an F2.